The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it's a Back to Work Wednesday here inside the SWBC podcast studio at the beautiful Star in Frisco. It might be raining outside, but it's a beautiful day here inside. Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and the star of the show, Mickey Spagnola.
Yes. Hey, where's the applause?
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. It's time. It's go time, right?
It is.
Yeah,
First practice, full practice of the week.
Okay, because they did. Okay, so let's get the player schedule. Okay, they were here on Monday after a 3-day weekend, and then they had to take another day off yesterday, right? And so that's why it's a back-to-work Wednesday today, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Juggling up the schedule. Change things up.
When you get to 3-day, you got to go back to your college alma mater and go to their first game of the year on Saturday. Or in the case of Micah Parsons, you go down to Texas to their game.
Is that where he was?
Yep. And DeMarvion was down there, I think, too.
Okay.
And so then you get your 3-day weekend, which is your last weekend before the grind starts.
Did you go to Oklahoma?
No.
Okay.
And so then you're back to work on Monday, Labor Day,
right.
but because you work the holiday,
That's a little
you
later
get your holiday
start.
on Tuesday. And so now here we are. It's game week officially.
Little later start to practice.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
12:20. Yeah.
And
So
we had a later
we can't-
Mike McCarthy press conference,
we
which
can't
just
peek.
wrapped up.
They had meetings and stuff, I guess, so they changed it up.
Okay.
What's the definition of insanity, right?
What
Keep
is
doing the same thing all
okay.
the time, you get the same results.
Okay.
So
We practice all the time.
He's changing it up.
Don't they practice all the time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they do. Yep.
And we practice over and over again.
But it's an indoor practice today.
I would imagine
that changes.
it's still raining.
So
We're getting water coming down into the ground instead of coming up out of the ground.
what?
As opposed to, you mean like a sprinkler system?
Yes,
Oh.
very good. See, you catch on fast.
What are you talking about?
Hey,
I
totally
just tuned
lost.
in, so that's why
This is-
why I got it right, because I just tuned in
this
to what
is
the
the
hell y'all
first
talking
time
about.
I've seen it rain since July, whenever we left for training camp.
Although it rained so much the first half of the year that the grass didn't even turn brown this year.
Oh,
in
yes, it
August.
did.
Oh, okay.
Come with me.
All right.
Oh, well, where you live?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, you live out in the country, don't you?
we don't
Yeah,
get in.
that's- You have to have a major sprinkler.
We didn't even
sprinkler
get the
system
rain
for
at the
that.
beginning,
okay.
end of last week.
All right, but
So-
here we are. Browns week has now officially begun because they're back to work on this Wednesday.
That's
And
right.
You just heard Mike McCarthy set the tone and set the theme for the entire season, right?
He did, and the theme this year is rooted.
Okay.
That you've established a foundation, and now it's time to grow. And he explained that. Let me make sure I get this started
misquote it.
right here. Yeah, that it's like there's always a fifth year window, and
What happened his fifth year in Green Bay?
they won a Super Bowl.
Did you know that, Bill, when you asked that question?
And so he said that things happen in 5-year increments, and I guess that happened in Green Bay.
Happened in Dallas, too.
He said that he didn't appreciate it because his dad used to preach that about 5 years until he had his own kids that don't listen to him. That
Interesting.
You know, you need kind of 5 years. And then when we did the walk-off, he mentioned, and I forgot how to pronounce the tree, but it was a Chinese bamboo tree that you water for 4 years and it doesn't grow. And then the 5th year, it grows 80 feet.
What?
That's what he said.
It's amazing how bamboo can grow like all of a sudden.
I know. Forget the Cowboys. I'm into bamboo now. I did not know this. That's amazing.
And there was a name. It starts with a Z. Zurich. I don't know what. I can't. He wouldn't spell it for us.
So I'm sure the bamboo Chinese person was like, man, I just messed up. I just lost all my bamboo.
So
trees.
when we walk back from the
5 years later, he's inundated with bamboos.
When we walked
bamboo
back
trees.
from the locker room, the little place last year where they had the display up on the upper concourse with the cart DM, that was the theme last year. Seize everything.
Right.
They seized almost everything.
Oh yeah, everything during the regular season.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I would imagine we're going to see some bamboo trees up there this time.
Now, Jimmy had a 5-year thing here. Does that not count?
Yeah,
does that count?
He had a 5-year plan for every place he was.
That's right.
Starting at Oklahoma State.
But it was his 89, 90, 91, 90, his fourth year the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, and his fifth year
Yeah.
for Jimmy.
But he,
So one
I'm
more-
saying
then he was out
he's
after
only
previous
ever
year.
stayed 5
Yeah, but he was
years.
out after 5
Out
years.
after
Yeah.
5, yeah.
And then
So the idea on this, though, is
So Jimmy is like Jimmy's like a bamboo tree. He's out in 5 years.
went to
Right.
Miami.
He's gone.
Oklahoma State
he's out of the
5
ground.
years.
He's gone in
Miami
5
5
years.
years. The Cowboys 5 years.
but the wins came before the fifth year. I mean, the winning
Yes.
of the championship.
That it came the 4th year.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, okay, now everyone's going to be
Now we're up to
Googling
speed.
Chinese
Bamboo
trees. Try to figure this out. The Zurich tree is one of the most common trees
Well, that's-
in China.
That's the one. That's the
That-
tree.
That's it then, I think.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it started with a Z.
We had a neighbor in Hamilton Park had bamboo trees, the bamboo stuff up there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same bamboo, but they had a bamboo tree, bamboo plant or whatever.
Did
We
you
had-
cut down a stick and try
No,
to use
I
it
just
for
used
pole
to look
vaulting
at it
or
every time I
something?
walk by. I'm like, man, this stuff it was kind of overgrown as well. So yeah, it can do that.
Because they were all 5 years old or
I
over.
don't
Yeah.
know, Bill. Don't get me into that. I don't think they did. I don't think they knew either.
They weren't watering
You're talking
it.
about some African Americans, just got some bamboo in their backyard. I'm pretty sure they don't know that whole story.
So the other headline of the press conference, so the Cowboys release has just come out for the first game.
Okay.
Yes.
And included in the release is a depth chart.
Okay.
And everybody got, well, not everybody, but some people got excited because they saw some things in the depth chart I don't think they thought they were going to see.
What? Don't tell me. A Michael Parsons position?
No.
No.
Guess again?
Running back.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's the first team running back?
Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
Okay.
That surprised people.
Why?
That's what I'm asking.
I thought it was a trick question.
If
It
you
was
watch
so easy.
if you watch how they've been practicing, he was going majority of the time. He was the first one out.
Yeah.
So no shock or anything. Zeke's the starting running back. And then
So how was that question answered?
he basically said he approved the depth chart.
Uh-huh.
And that, on offense, it doesn't matter who starts because you're going to rotate so many different players in and out, and that it doesn't mean who's going to get the most snaps because they're not going to play 60 snaps in a game, right? So they're still using everybody else. Rico Dowdle will have a role. Deuce Vaughn will have a role. Hunter Lepke could have a role. I could have answered the question. Right? Now, the other one I got asked is that Mozzie Smith is listed as the starting nose tackle.
Okay.
Well, that's the way they've been
He's
playing.
been lining up there
Every practice.
off-season,
The whole
preseason,
offseason.
training camp, everything.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
58 is out there.
So
First.
that was surprising. And then the way I treated the linebacker spot was that Eric Kendricks and Damone Clark were the starters.
Okay.
And then when they're using the third guy, it's a rotation between Leofau and DeMarvion Overshone.
Okay.
Well, they've got Leofau listed as the starter on defense when there's 3 linebackers there. Well, that's the way they've been practicing.
Right.
So,
Especially since Clark's been out with an injury and
little
Overshone
bit,
was
right?
out with an injury too.
Yeah.
And Leofau was getting first-team reps alongside Kendricks for weeks.
so I don't.
So how big is Leofau?
He's bigger than you think.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess 6'2", 230 maybe.
Okay, that's typical.
That's my guess. Well, you
That's
got
typical.
it right here.
That's
Well, I
typical
do, but I got
linebacker.
it right here also.
No, that's
He
not
has to
official.
It's
show in his
official.
book.
I put so much work into this
Guys,
notebook. Let
not
me use my
official.
notebook.
He knows how to go right to it. That's what it is.
6'2", 234 at the combine. That's not the combine number right there. 6'2", 234.
All right.
What do they have on
And
listed?
this is 6'2", 234.
Okay.
And
So
what
it
did I
hasn't
say?
fluctuated.
I said 6'2",
And by the way,
230 something.
What was Eric Kendricks?
At this point in his career?
Yes.
They've got him listed as 6 foot 232.
He is 6 foot and a quarter, 232.
Where was that? Where is that from?
I believe it's from the combine because I
From
got
his
all his
combine?
I got
From
his whole
way back
combine.
in-
Yeah.
Okay.
He's consistent.
Wait a minute.
He ran a 4.61 with a 157 10-yard split. I write them all down in my
That-
notebook.
that
here.
is-
I bet he can't run a 4.61 anymore. How
That
much you
is-
bet?
But this is his starting point. And so when
Okay.
I'm comparing
We were talking about insanity. That's insane.
That's insane. He
when
won't
I'm
change.
comparing
You can't go back to combine.
No, but when
How old is he?
he's 31.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I'm
He
not
was
saying that's what he
21
is
when he
now.
ran that.
I'm not saying that's what he is now. But when Mike Zimmer drafts Marist Leofau in the 3rd round,
Okay.
I'm thinking, you know what? I think he sees some Eric Kendricks in Marist Leofau. And so I went back and compared what they were at the combine. And Kendricks was 6 foot, 1/4 inch tall, 232. Leofau was 6'2", 234, very similar size.
Who signed Leofau?
What's it?
Who were you saying that signed Leofau?
No, I'm saying that's when Mike Zimmer drafts Marist Leofau in the 3rd round. I'm thinking, okay, does he see Eric Kendricks in Leofau? Okay, when he makes that pick.
Was Mike Zimmer there when Kendricks
Yes.
came out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to give you that one.
So how much you got down Linville Joseph?
Okay,
way?
wait. There's more on this. Okay,
I'm
the
listening.
similarities coming out of college.
Okay.
Leofau and Kendricks.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, I gave you the height and weight. All right, Kendricks ran a 4.61 with a 157 split. Leofau a 4.64 with a 159 split, almost identical. 22 bench reps for Kendrick. Leofau had 16 bench reps.
Oh.
We got to get him in the weight room. Kendricks had a 38 vertical, which
He's
is
pretty
really
athletic.
good.
He's pretty
really good.
athletic.
And I think if I can read my writing, a 36 vertical for Leofau.
Okay.
And
Still
Kendricks
good. Still good.
Kendricks 10.4 broad jump, and Leofau a 9 foot. And cone drill, okay, which is big for a linebacker. 7.14 for Kendricks, 7.16 for Leofau. So there you go.
Okay.
That's the method to my
He had
madness.
to prove his point.
Yeah, right.
Can we move on, please?
I asked, what did you have Linville Joseph down for poundage? And I'm sure he's got it somewhere.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
he was a late addition.
Yeah. 15 years
You know what?
later, how much
Okay,
does
so
he
up
weigh?
on that depth chart.
Yes.
On that depth chart, defensively, what stands out to you? Because what stands out to me is that on the depth chart, they put 3 starting linebackers.
Yes.
As opposed to there weren't 3 linebackers on the team at the end of the year last year that were playing in games.
No.
Now you got 3 starting linebackers listed on the depth chart.
And neither one is Michael Parsons.
No, he's at defensive end.
He's at defensive end.
Which doesn't mean he's not going to line up at linebacker at times.
I'm see, this is where I don't agree with what's going on.
That's why the depth chart is
Right.
insignificant.
Okay.
That's
okay.
right. That's right.
But he approved it.
Yeah, well, because they have
you
to
gotta put
have
something down.
They got to have something, right?
I hope we're not hiding and just masking the same thing that we were doing last year. So That's all I want. I want this defense.
And there's 12 starters on there because they listed as Jordan
See,
Lewis as a starting
y'all tear
quarterback.
that thing up, man. You can't have 12 starters. Just get out of here, man. What
Because
are we
you know
doing?
when they go to nickel.
What
Well,
are we doing? What are we doing?
There
That is
actually should be 12 starters on offense too.
They say what?
because they
Including the
should.
field goal kicker.
the third wide receiver.
Yeah. So in case you start in 11 personnel.
Right. Wait, but see,
Wait a second.
What?
One. Oh, they do have 3 wide receivers.
So they did.
So
Okay.
They got Lamb, Tolbert, and Cooks.
And they
so
got
they're
a-
starting in 11. They've tipped their hand. They're starting in 11 personnel.
yeah, they have.
Is there a fullback listed?
There's not a fullback listed as a starter. In fact, there's not a fullback listed. Lipke is listed as the third team running back.
Running back.
Deuce Vaughn, the fourth team running back.
All that is propaganda.
Uh-huh.
That's all
it is.
That's all it is. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Got any other disputes on there?
I dispute the whole paper.
Should have been here for the press conference and you
Right,
could have
I would
asked.
have been like, hey,
Hey,
what's
wait.
happening?
Hey, I'm looking at your depth chart. What is the most significant thing that has happened to this depth chart or / roster since they reported to Oxnard, California?
The most significant thing.
The most significant, maybe not necessarily just one thing, but what is the most significant things that have happened to the depth chart?
Well,
It's not one
Duran
thing.
Bland's not on it.
Okay, besides an injury.
I was gonna say, if you're talking more than one thing, I was just thinking the one thing, and starting center.
Okay,
That was
that
it.
emerged.
Yeah,
Okay, we thought that was going to happen, but it did happen.
but we didn't know which.
We didn't know when it was
gonna
going
be
to
him.
happen.
Yeah,
That's right.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I thought
So,
they had choices.
by the way, after extensive research, thanks to the guys in PR, this is the first time since the merger in 1970 that the Cowboys have started 2 rookies on opening day on the offensive line. Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's the second time. Sorry. First time was 2011. I'll give you Tyron Smith. If you can think of who the other rookie starter
Oh,
was.
wow. Must have been an undrafted guy.
Bill Nagy.
Oh, wow.
Why I never.
At center,
Guard.
at guard.
And that was the first of his 4-game NFL career.
I think he was a 7th-round pick.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He only played 4 games in the NFL.
Was he from Wisconsin?
I
have to look him up.
Well, you
I
got it
had
right
the one.
there.
Well, he obviously didn't play well that game.
So anyway, they have never,
his first start.
other than that, and this year they'd never. And I got to look from 60 to 69, but they had never started 2 rookies on the offensive line. And McCarthy made it sound like his first year in Green Bay, they started 2 rookie offensive linemen because he said they had no other choice.
All right. The most significant things that I think have happened for this defense, and maybe for the team too. I'm looking at when I look at this depth chart since the start of training camp, all the moves they made.
Oh, I thought you meant for the starters,
in acquiring
free agents.
To providing quality veteran depth, especially on this defense.
And nobody-
Because as training camp started, I was telling people I don't see how they're going to do it. If you're talking a 21 game season, if you're winning a Super Bowl with the roster that they had coming into training camp,
Okay.
and with injuries are going to happen, and they didn't make it out of training camp without 2 starters going down with injuries. And defensively.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it was just predicated on Sam Williams going down. They were going to add veteran guys regardless of what they saw. They just had to wait and see where the true positions of need would be.
And
I think they already knew the positions as well.
And
Because the guys that they signed, clearly that's made to stop up the run.
And they knew that there was an inventory of free agent guys that were still out there where they didn't have to panic. There were enough of them back in the spring where they did not have to sign them back then. They could wait, see what they've got on their roster with young guys, see how they develop through the offseason and on as training camp starts, and now we fill in the needs.
And they fill in the need with very veteran type players.
No, guys that didn't cost a lot.
That's right,
Well,
because they knew.
because of what we're talking about. They're going to be older veterans that you can bring in to help provide some leadership and some girth in the middle.
But they knew that
if you do that in March, it's going to cost.
That's right. And if you wait, and there was enough of them, the market was flooded enough with free agents at these positions where you can wait. And there's going to be enough guys out there where you bring 4 edge rushers in for one day when Sam Williams gets down, and now you pick 2 of them.
Yeah.
That you
both 36, both were 36, right?
36
years old.
No, Linville Joseph is 30. Linville Joseph is the only one that he'll be 36 in
Phillips
October.
is 31.
Okay,
they're all.
But that was a trade. But again, they brought
same principle.
A bigger. So you got Phillips, Joseph,
and then they even brought in Albert Huggins, who didn't make the team.
Right. And then Lawson's on the practice squad.
And he's primed to get elevated.
They've got one spot. Well, no, they have to have one spot available. They only got 52.
CD
got to
he's
come
on the
off
commissioner's
the
exempt list right now.
That would be 53.
And then also at linebacker, the guys they brought in at linebacker too, with one of the guys that's we talked about the other day, Vigil on the practice squad, and then they also brought in Darius Harris from who was with Kansas City for 4 years as another veteran guy, and so I thought it was and then they traded. They saw what they had in Nashawn Wright. They didn't like what they saw in Nashawn Wright, and so they traded him to Minnesota and brought in Andrew Booth, a former second-round draft pick who's a backup corner.
Andrew Booth is interesting.
Talk to me. What's going on with him?
One of the players, I can't remember who was saying it, he was walking by and he goes, "Oh, here comes movie star." Booth's like, "Huh?" And he goes, "I keep seeing you and you look like some movie star, just the way you look, right?" And I kind of looked and I kind of...
He said, "You look like a movie star?"
No, Booth. Follow along. No wonder you flunked that gambling test.
Hey, man. I got to
he did what?
That.
He flunked a gambling test.
They said that this.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. We got to hear this.
Didn't you get
when Mick? I
email
completed it. That's why I'm sitting here right now.
And I am too.
Yeah, and I've passed it with flying colors.
He's got like 4 days left to finish it.
Oh, we got to hear this story when Mick Shots continues in a moment.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says...
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Fall is here, and that means football is back, bringing all the delicious game day foods with it. As you prep for all the big games, tailgates, and watch parties, let Yo Quiero be your one-stop destination for all things home gating. Yo Quiero's fresh, flavorful, ready-to-serve guacamole, made with real Hass avocados, will score taste bud touchdowns as you cheer on the Cowboys. Yo Quiero's wide range of mouth-watering and versatile products can be found in your local grocery store's produce or deli section. Grab some today.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Back to Mixed Shots.
Rally Days presented by SeatGeek. Give NFL fans an experience of a lifetime the day prior to Dallas Cowboys home games on September 14th and enjoy activities at Miller Lighthouse. Get behind-the-scenes tour of AT&T Stadium and more. Visit attstadium.com/rallydays for more information and get your tickets today. There is no punctuation on this at all.
Not even a
period? Can I get a period somewhere? They give me a comma, thank you. Come on, man. I'm gonna start pre-reading this stuff. Oh, go ahead. I call Savannah back.
Do I need to edit there?
Yeah, you should.
Go back to my editing days. That's how I read the newspaper now. I edit as I'm reading.
Right.
Okay, as we go along through the show, there are trivia questions that pop their heads into the show every now and then. And Mickey brought up the last time, the only time since 1970, was it, that the Cowboys, but the only other time, the only other time that the Cowboys have started two rookies in a season opener in the offensive line was in 2011. Of course, the first-round draft pick, Tyron Smith. And sure enough, Bill Nagy was a seventh-round draft pick out of Wisconsin.
Very good, Bill.
That's the big green notebook for you.
But he's not holding the notebook.
Wisconsin turns out those
that's why I remembered
linemen.
Wisconsin is because of the big green notebook.
There you go.
Okay. Now,
where did we leave off?
To this gambling issue that
yes.
we got.
First of all, let me tell the public I am not a gambler. I go to Vegas a lot for the shows. I don't go for the gambling. But they send out the gambling, the training
gambling
thing.
Training, and
we have to,
all have
as
to review
employees, we have to sign this and make sure we're not gambling on games and things of that nature, which is kind of hypocritical when you got DraftKings. It's all over the damn place.
All right, stop right there.
Oh, sorry.
We want you here tomorrow.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, it was very.
So I passed mine with flying colors.
You should have, because you probably had it on the proper format. I did it on my phone, and I didn't realize that when the question was asked, that there were more options if I scrolled down.
You just looked at the first one?
Well, it gave me yes or no.
Right.
That was what I saw. I didn't know I could scroll. And I'm like, I know it's a trick question. It must be. So I hit something. A, and then B. A, and then B. Yeah. So, but no, I merely should have scrolled up and saw that there were other options.
Right. All of the above or none of the above.
None of the above.
So anyway, you got rejected.
You flunked.
I did that twice.
You flunked it twice. You flunked
the
test twice.
I didn't know you had to scroll up. The format on the phone is horrible. They need to do better. If it's going to be on the phone and on your computer, it needs to show up better on the phone, because it only showed giving me two options, which was A or B.
But there were C and D.
But there was C and D under there on two questions. So that's the only reason I flunked it.
So you've got to take it third
and so I
time?
go back and I look at it, I'm like, oh, shoot. That's down there.
Thank you for doing that, too.
Yeah. So
you got to take it a third time?
Second time.
Oh, you got to take it.
Okay, I thought you said you flunked it twice.
No, I did. I flunked two questions.
Oh, two questions.
That had more.
And then you got fed up with it. Threw it against the wall.
That's exactly right. I said, you know what? We'll do this later. So that's it. It's just that simple.
That reminds me of a roommate I had in college. He couldn't pass the accounting course, and he needed to pass the accounting course to graduate.
God, I graduated in accounting, and I hate accounting.
And he flunked it twice, right?
I can see that.
And so he had to take it a third time, and he still didn't get it. And he got to the final, and the professor says, "Hey, just pass it with a D. Pass it with a D, and I'll pass you." Right? He got a D.
Sounds like me in geometry. Jeez, that's crazy.
Anyway. All right, so we got that issue taken care of.
Okay, so points of interest. What are we looking at on your legal pad there? That is, wow, How many pages have you filled out on this game already?
This is the press
from
conference.
the preseason.
All right.
I chart the press conference to
So
see if there
tell
was
us what we need to
anything
know
else
here.
there that was important.
Bill, why weren't you there?
I was driving here.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have to be there. I was expecting to be able to listen to it as I drove in, and I couldn't find it. And so I'm needing Mickey to fill
Here's
me
one
in.
of the things that
Thank you, Chris. That sounds like a mistake to me.
that was his first mistake,
Right.
Everybody seems to be worried about the Cowboys taking care of Myles Garrett, like he's going to line up every play in front of
Tyler
Guyton, right? Has anybody considered the fact that if I'm the coach, there's going to be a tight end there and maybe two tight ends, right? I'm not going to leave him out there 60 snaps one-on-one with Myles Garrett, right? But then nobody asks, what do you think Cleveland's going to do with Micah Parsons? Because they got the same problem at left tackle, right? We talked about it yesterday, having to move the right tackle to left tackle, who hasn't played left tackle since his first 2 years in the NFL and only 67 snaps at that, Jack Conklin.
Okay.
And the next guy up was the guy, somebody Hudson III, right? That was their other choice.
James Hudson III, which was
Somebody
named
Hudson.
two of my grandsons
we
were
talked
named
about
after
it yesterday.
him, James
but
Hudson.
no one seems to ask the question, well, what do you think Micah Parsons, how Cleveland's going to handle Micah Parsons? Or what are you going to do with Micah Parsons to get him clean, right? But yeah, everybody's, Myles Garrett against Guyton. He's going to have help, don't you think?
Do they move Myles around?
Oh, well, then it's against Steele.
I was just asking, do they move him? Do they
that
practice
part I don't know. I was just figuring they're going to look and, there's the rookie. He's lining up on the right side.
Well, I recall that's just how good Myles Garrett is. I mean, sometimes he's just freestyling out there. I saw him one play. It was an obvious passing down. He lined up over, for some reason I thought it was the guard. I'm probably wrong. He probably lined up over the tackle. But he was up on 2 feet, on 2 legs. He wasn't down in the stance. And he's acting as if he's dribbling a basketball. And it's like he's going to put a crossover move on the off. Did you see that?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I did see that correctly, didn't I?
Yeah.
That's pretty cocky. I mean, he knew he was going to beat the guy. He's clowning the guy as if he's like Luka.
Right.
I'm going to cross this guy up with my pass moves, but he acts like he's got a basketball in his hand. He's acting like he's dribbling it back and forth, coming down the court or whatever. And, of course, he shook the guy down, and he got to the quarterback. So you're looking at a pretty cocky, confident, very good leader on this Cleveland defense. That's why they're playing as well as they play. They play off of him just like we play off of Micah Parsons. He's a hell of a player.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that.
Yeah.
That's why I said 2 tight ends, not one.
Myles Garrett in high school had one game where I believe the number was either 8 or 11. I'll go with 11. 11 sacks in one game.
8 is enough.
Eight's great.
Funny.
Yeah.
Eight's enough,
This matchup, though, reminds me of the old Rayfield Wright story.
Yes.
And this goes back to the 1969 season.
I told it to Zach Martin the other day. We were talking about your memories of your first start as a rookie, right? And then I said, well, you heard the Rayfield Wright story, but go ahead.
Rayfield told this story
many times,
thousands of times probably. And when he made his debut, and I looked up the details on it just now, because I was thinking about that when I couldn't listen to Mike McCarthy's press conference driving in. I was thinking, okay, this reminds me of Rayfield Wright versus Deacon Jones, and it was midway of the 1969 season.
I was going to say Deacon Jones. I haven't heard this story.
Yeah, and so Ralph Neely went down with an injury, and Rayfield at that time, Rayfield came into the league out of Fort Valley State as a
tight end.
HBCU.
As a tight end, and then he played a little bit on the defensive line as well. They weren't sure where he was going to wind up eventually. So it was like this was now his 3rd year in the league, and he's the backup to Ralph Neely at tackle. So he gets the start, and Dallas was 8-1 at the time. The Rams were 9-0. They were playing out in L.A. Hall of Famer Deacon Jones at left defensive end and Rayfield's at right tackle. Rayfield said, we go to the line of scrimmage, and I'm looking at Deacon Jones square in his eyes. His eyes seem to be red as fire. Now, as an aside, I remember interviewing Deacon Jones about 15 years later, and it was a Miller Lite commercial tour, and his eyes were red as fire then, too.
From Miller Lite, probably. And from the sponsor.
His voice is about 10 octaves low, right?
Octaves.
So Rayfield goes on. He says, he's kicking his back leg like a bull. I'm saying to myself, my God, what have I got myself into? Before the ball was snapped, Jones bellowed, boy, does your mama know you're out here? Stunned by the comment, Wright was unprepared for the infamous Jones head slap that sent him reeling backward. Jones reached out his big arm down and said, hey, rookie, welcome to the NFL.
He picked him up?
I said, well, Mr. Jones, you don't know my mama, so don't talk about her. You want to play the game this way, we'll play it.
And there you go.
They went nose to nose the rest of the afternoon.
The rest of their
Wright
careers.
playing so well, he received a game ball from the team, despite the Cowboys losing the game 24-23.
That's good
But
stuff.
then they met up again like a second time. And I can't remember if it was a playoff. What year did you get? 70?
That was 69.
69. Or they met again, and he kind of got him. And he basically said, my mama knows where I'm at. And so he used that in his Hall of Fame acceptance speech when he told the story. And he's like, Deacon, and I don't know if he was on the stage
He
then
probably was.
or not.
Yeah.
And he goes, my mama knows I'm standing here right now.
Yeah, I heard Deacon speak at the Black College Hall of Fame. We had the all-time 100 team. And I was blessed enough to make it with Deacon Jones. And that was in Baltimore, Maryland, sometime around 2000.
Yep.
It was a heck of an event. I mean, it was Black College Hall of Famers, so they were basically a bunch of them, because those are the older guys that back in the day with the Kansas City Chiefs, you had Buchanan and all those guys. But Deacon Jones was the keynote.
And Deacon, by the way, who passed away in 2013, Deacon,
So I
he
guess
started
he wasn't on stage.
he started his college career at South Carolina State.
Yep.
Then he got in the transfer portal and went to Mississippi Valley State.
Did he?
Yeah.
Moved way up.
Yeah.
He went to Valley.
Mm-hmm. And then he was a 14th round draft pick in 1961.
Well, South Carolina State is up.
Yeah.
Mississippi Valley is not. When you just
But they kind of flipped later.
Yeah, later on. That's because of Jerry Rice only.
Yeah.
Right. That's only because of Jerry Rice.
So what was the first start you made as a rookie?
I think it was St. Louis.
How far into the season?
Like 5 games.
So you had played a little or none?
I was leading the league in interceptions from the bench, Spags. You want to talk about that? Let's talk about that so I can get pissed off.
Before you started?
I was leading the league in interceptions before I started.
He had 11 interceptions in his rookie season in 1981.
3 or 5 before I
Mickey.
started.
And then Tom decided this guy might be able to play?
Yeah, maybe he can play. Yeah. Golly. Just because I didn't go to Rice, I wasn't Michael Downs, who came in and just blew training camp away.
Because he was smart. He went to Rice.
He was smart.
Right?
He was good. I don't know what happened at Rice, but when he came out there to practice, everyone knew that's going to be one of the guys.
Okay, so to echo what Everson is saying here, Everson had 4 interceptions his first 4 games of his rookie season, and then Game 5 was at St. Louis.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And I remember because I think we lost the game.
Yes, 20-17.
So your start wasn't shocking to you as a rookie because you had already played.
It was disappointing.
Disappointing. Why am I already as a college free agent
I had just gotten 2 interceptions on Monday Night Football against the Patriots, and I'm like, what else do I have to do?
Well, they made you wait another game because you didn't play the Giants, and you got another interception against the Giants.
Give me a break, bro. I was so frustrated. So frustrated, but I still ended up making my bonuses. Thank God.
About how many snaps were you getting in those games before you became the starter?
Just third downs.
Wow.
I just came in. I was Jordan Lewis.
I wonder if they kept snap counts.
And it really was just on third down.
It was just on third downs. Yeah, it wasn't like, no, we didn't
like
start
today.
Not like last year. No, I was not that guy.
Yeah. All right, we continue with more Mick shots in a moment.
Crazy.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Fall is here, and that means football is back, bringing all the delicious game day foods with it. As you prep for all the big games, tailgates, and watch parties, let Yo Quiero be your one-stop destination for all things home gating. Yo Quiero's fresh, flavorful, ready-to-serve guacamole, made with real Hass avocados, will score taste bud touchdowns as you cheer on the Cowboys. Yo Quiero's wide range of mouth-watering and versatile products can be found in your local grocery store's produce or deli section. Grab some today.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Back to Mick Shots.
Come shop at the Star in Frisco on Saturday, September 28th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Flea Styles Market at the Star, presented by Maker Place by Michaels, featuring 50-plus local makers offering art, fashion, home decor, jewelry, and kids' items. Market at the Star is always a favorite. Admission is free. Visit thestardistrict.com for more info.
Did you have periods?
Any periods in there?
I just assumed.
You just fought through it.
I just assumed. Oh, man.
All right, so
Nate in Frisco.
Nate Frisco just is walking by. That's right. Yeah.
Drive by.
One of our loyal listeners, our one loyal listener.
I was gonna bring this up. Maybe we do it tomorrow.
Okay.
But so Deshaun Watson at quarterback for Cleveland, and I'm going, how much has he played recently? So it was 6 games in each of the 2 last seasons.
Yep.
So 12 games. Is there any worry about him in Cleveland?
They should be.
Oh, I would imagine.
I thought they were worried last year.
6 games.
Yeah, I thought they were, because he did not end up well last year at all.
So the last 2 seasons, well, I guess we got a few minutes here. 14 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions. He averaged 6.5 yards an attempt. 8 is good. 7 is average. Anything above 8 is really good.
Yeah.
6.5. And his quarterback ratings were 79.1 and 84.3. Who's their backup, by the
Number
way?
15.
The big
Who was this
green
guy?
notebook.
Jameis Winston.
Well, yeah,
Jameis
now
Winston.
it's Jameis, but last year.
Yeah, but now it's
Well, you had Joe Flacco, and
was
then
there.
you
Yeah,
also
Flacco.
had
Yeah.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who got 3 starts last year,
Hey,
and had
it's
another one
not,
too.
it's not just the bad percentage passing. He had fumbles as well. He fumbled several times last year in big games. He's not.
He had 5 fumbles in 6 games, which is not what you're looking for.
That is not.
Last year.
Clearly, all of that stuff, that the legal problems he was having and the time that he missed, it clearly affected how he played. And you're talking about a guy who's one of the better competitors at quarterback 3 years ago. Right. That you would probably see on the field.
And it was 2020 was his last year in Houston, where he passed for 4,823 yards, which led the league that year. Of course, it was a 4-12 season for Houston, so they were throwing the ball a lot, playing catch-up.
And it was COVID.
Right.
And he was one of those guys. He was a never quit guy.
Yeah.
And he's still that guy, but it leads to more turnovers now for him, especially because he missed so much time because of his legal issues.
Okay, and
guess what? Go ahead.
Here's another thing last year. 6 starts, 17 sacks, okay? And in fact, that's basically a rate of over a 17-game season. That would be around 50 sacks, or a little less, 45 sacks probably.
He was not on the same page with his wideouts.
All right, and then the previous season, 6 starts, 20 sacks, which that's even more sacks. All right, he led the league his second year in the league with Houston, which was a Pro Bowl season for him, and they went 11-5 that year. He was sacked 62 times that season. So,
and he kept going. So he was one of those no-quit guys. I don't know if he is. I guess he's starting. He's not going to quit on you, but as a defense,
takes a lot of punishment.
And you hope as a defense that he doesn't quit because he's committing the turnovers for you at this point in his career.
And they've got to start a backup running back.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know what kind of pickup he's having as far as the blitz is concerned. I mean, he needs all the help he can get. But one guy that is not hurting for stats, and that is still Amari Cooper. I don't care who the damn quarterback is. This man is amazing. And we talking about Myles Garrett. We better make sure Cooper doesn't get off on us.
So your thoughts on Diggs taking him on one-on-one? Plausible?
That's a tough one. Based on how these kids are these days, not knowing, just finding out about this ramp-up thing with the surgery and all of that, I don't know why I wasn't in tune to it when I played, but he's going to have some problems.
I mean, is that a big ask?
That's a big ask
if they
for
try
Diggs.
to do that?
That's a big ask for Diggs. They will probably take a chance and say, well, we're going to show them they can't run on us because they have a backup running back. I'm sure that's going to be our philosophy. And we will probably round up into double teaming him in strategic situations, giving Diggs some help over the top.
And then, or giving Carson help?
If he's guarding him.
If he's on,
if
he's not one-on-one the whole time.
Look at this, man. Can we please get an interruption here? We got Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith walks in. Wants to say hello to Everson Walls.
Don't come in here with that Q-Dog stuff, man. Don't come in here with that Q-Dog stuff. How you doing, brother?
It's good to see you, man. How you doing, boys? How you doing, guys?
This must be a first.
When he had his first show
How you doing?
on ESPN, he blew it, man. Me and him had it going. I was going to be his guy. He blew it.
I did blow it. I did blow it, man. I miss you, man. How you been, boys?
I'm good, man.
You all right?
See, I was always there to keep you from going off the rails.
But I haven't been off the rails. I break my
Oh, you have been off the rails, but you're further off the rails. There are no more rails. You've taken off, brother.
I'm trying to do all right, and I'm walking around, and I'm just seeing all my boys that have been Cowboys, and I'm like, it's a beautiful thing.
And you know we don't like you here, man. You know that. You think that we like you, but we love to hate you.
Listen. I have no issue with Cowboys. I have no issue with Cowboy broadcasters. No, it's just them damn fans.
Did you guys all hear that? Did you hear it?
They get on my damn nerves. And it's not even the Cowboy fans in Dallas and Fort Worth. That makes sense. But it's when you see them all over the country, it's like, what?
You're jealous?
Why?
Are you jealous?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
One of those guys in Washington, D.C. that doesn't like
and
it,
this is a guy, he likes Pittsburgh. Come on, you like Pittsburgh.
I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I've always been a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But I love you guys, too. Some of y'all. So I don't know about
you love me?
Sometimes.
Do you love me?
Do sometimes, man. Sometimes, man. Sometimes.
Can you imagine, Everson? Can you imagine you and Michael Irvin with Stephen A. Smith on the show?
Heck no.
Well, first of all, I don't know if I get a chance to talk.
I know. I was just about to say.
He bullies me like the big
He was
brother
talking
is.
about how I dress.
And Michael Irvin will get up out of his seat, sweat, it's not about you. Don't tell
Coughing
your story.
all
Don't
over
tell
the place.
his story.
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
these stories.
Spreading germs all over the studio.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
I'm getting ready to call him right now. I told him I'm walking down the hallway. I said, this picture of Michael Irvin is a lie. That's not his hair. That is not his hair. Okay, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Y'all take care.
And check out Everson's hair. There you go. All right. Very, very special cameo
Hey, stop
appearance.
dyeing your stuff, man. Go gray all the way. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on.
Well, that was a good way to close out the show.
Well, pretty good extra 5 minutes there.
Exactly. It was worth it. It was worth it.
And okay, let's tweet that out.
Yes.
Okay. Let it go viral. Everson.
But let's do it.
All right. So let's do it again tomorrow at high noon.
You
All right.
ready? You gonna be ready?
It's Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, baby.
Okay.
I wonder
First
if we
NFL games tomorrow night. Kansas
that's
City.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. We're gonna preview those. Are we gonna preview?
And Friday.
Friday you
From
got
Brazil.
one down in
That's
Brazil,
right.
Philadelphia, and Green
Oh,
Bay.
the players are afraid to go out of their hotel rooms in Brazil.
Well, sure they are.
Think they're gonna get kidnapped.
Stay on the team bus.
What's the tough guy for the 49ers? The big wide receiver. What's his name? Come on, the big wide receiver. Debo said he's not going out of his room. Debo said he's not going out of his room.
Smart man.
Debo.
I had somebody in the NBA that had to go there for games. And
Finally, some excitement on y'all show. Stephen A. came in here. I'm like, man, Mick, you finally. First off, Mick, Mick, they thought you were frozen, gone on the show earlier. Come on, Mick, let's go, baby.
He wasn't gonna come in until he saw Stephen A. come in.
That's right.
I ain't seen you all off season, boy.
Hey, I love you.
Love you too, man. Everybody, she's good. She's good.
All right, that does it for a Wednesday edition of Mix Shots. We'll talk at you again tomorrow at noon.
Can't
Go
have
Cowboys.
more fun than this.
Go Cowboys, Stephen A.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?